Coach, what's going on? It's Coach Ian Tatum here, back with another clinic series video. And today, got a good buddy of mine, Coach Austin Hamilton. He's coaching way down yonder at Chattahoochee High School. We're doing good. Sorry, I was thinking about I got to do that when I come in the intro. But yeah, Coach is going to talk about some homework calls and some tempos. And Coach, hope you're doing good. And thanks for coming on.
Yes, sir. No, I appreciate it. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, of course. Coach, so you want to go ahead and share your screen? We can hop on it and get rolling. All right, there we go. All right, because I'm gonna back out. You got it.
Yes, sir. All right. So obviously, like Coach Tam said, I'm just going to talk about utilizing multi-tempos and one-word play calls and just how, we use it here at Chattahoochee and how hopefully something shows for y'all to kind of want to use maybe in your offense, right? Like you said, I'm Austin Hamilton. I'm the co-offensive coordinator and offensive line coach here at Chattahoochee High School in Johns Creek, Georgia. And then just take a look at the numbers from this is the year prior before we got there. Passing yards, passing touchdowns, kind of just all the stats. Looking at the numbers compared to an average of the past 2 years that we have been here, and using this multi-tempo offense and one-word play calls to our advantage. You can just see the glaring difference in every stat really, and just how it's helped us completely change the vibe and the atmosphere around here at Chattahoochee High School. So for us, is why we do it is to get our players in the best situations to succeed. I think that's the most important thing when it comes to whatever type of offense you do use is, based off of the players that you have in your personnel, how can what you're doing benefit them and make them kind of be able to play the best they can. Make sure we have the ability to manage the game effectively, right? Does our defense need a little bit more help this game? Is our offense not maybe hitting the stride like we need to as quickly as it is as we're used to? Do we need to slow it down? Take the coaches out of the game and make the players play, right? Every staff has just amazing coaches nowadays who have the ability to watch huddle, watch this tape, kind of figure out everything, and kind of have the iPad on the game on the sideline during the game, and kind of make sure we take them out of the picture and make the players use what they were taught and see if they can actually do it. Obviously, the ability to get some free and cheap yards is always good for us. And then everyone has those plays they run, so get to our most efficient plays quicker. Specifically, getting our players in the best situation, right? We have a rather smaller offensive line here at Chattahoochee, so getting the defensive line tired to slow them down, whether it be pass rush, slow them down in the sense of their mind slowing down on what they have to do. Get the mismatch you want, right? Once you get in those tempo situations, whether it be fast or slow, it kind of gives you a chance to kind of get players where you want them to play. And then obviously it allows our players to play and just not think about all the stuff happening pre-snap, right? So we'll take a look here at obviously a situation here, right? We're not going to watch the full play, but you can see it through here, right? Get the players to play. Look at this. One-word play call, quick. We have the numbers we want. We get the mismatch we want, and we're ready to play ball. Obviously, manage the game effectively. Allows us and our players to feel in control of the game. I didn't say just one tempo, multi-tempo, right? Whether it be slowing it down, speeding it up, maybe sugar huddle of what we do, a bunch of different stuff, right? Just allows us to feel like we can dictate the way the game needs to be played. Limit the possessions the other offense gets, right? If we're playing against a high-end offense, and in the region we're in, we have some pretty good offenses that we go against, and we have a bunch of our players that have to play both ways. So let's slow it down a little bit and get our players a little bit of a breath and allow them to kind of get ready for the next situation. And then one thing that I think goes unnoticed when it comes to this is being able to switch up depending on the players we have available, right? If you're just only a high-tempo offense and all of a sudden you're down to your maybe third-string quarterback, or maybe your second-string quarterback's not as a freshman or younger, and they just don't have that confidence to run that offense, and you slow down the offense and you say this week, okay, y'all, we're slowing it down completely, that's what we're going to do. It can mess up their confidence altogether already, right? It can mess up the vibe of the team of like, well, why are we changing everything now because so-and-so's in, right? So us using these different tempos allows us to plug and play who we need to, and it doesn't make them think, well, we have to play this certain way because I'm in, right? And allows them to still play confident. Take the coaches out of the game, right? Super important thing. Take the guy who watches the most film and has the iPad out of the game. make sure they are not able to make the adjustments they need to. And then make the defense play base, right? That obviously helps every offensive lineman, every offensive just quarterback, right? Every offense receiver, right? You don't have these crazy coverages you have to read or any of that. Just kind of make him play and play to their standard and their base. Make players think and communicate, right? That's the hardest thing for a defense to do is to get them to communicate and make sure everyone's on the right page, right? When it comes to defense, if a couple people are off, it can definitely mess up a play big time, right? So here's a good example right here of getting the players out of the game or getting the coaches out of the game, right? Our number one receiver over here, this guy's listening to what he's been told the whole season or the whole game, the whole pre-week, right? Make sure you bracket this receiver right here because he is that dang good, right? No communication happens that, hey, there's a running back out here. What do I need to do now, right? No communication happens whatsoever. And we'll see what happens after that. Big play, right? But, hey, he was doing what he was supposed to do. There just was no communication at the end of the coaches, of the defense being able to communicate because of just how quickly we were able to get on the ball and go, right? Free and cheap yards. Too many on the field, not aligned correctly to an unbalanced set, not covering players, right? We'll see a couple examples over here. Super small example, right? We go sugar huddle just to kind of change our tempo up a little bit, right? Not no huddle where they can kind of see where the unbalance is at. We go sugar huddle. They don't realize that we have tackle over, a tight end, and the receivers in the stance over here, and they don't adjust over to the overset. Quick free yards because they cannot get set to an unbalanced set by changing the tempos up, whether it be, like I said, slow, fast, whatever it is, right? And then I think this one is also important, right? Especially in most offenses, right? Offensive coordinators have those go-to plays, right? When the going gets tough, whether it be a first down, whether it be maybe third and whatever, you have those go-to plays that you know as an offensive coordinator you're going to call more than once during a game, right? Everyone has their go-to plays, so make it easier and quicker to get to those plays. I think that is something that is very important, right? You're going to call these plays multiple times. Why not go ahead and just make them quicker to get to, right? And on top of it, tempo lets us run base plays without allowing the defense to catch on to the tendencies, right? I've seen our defensive staff talk about tendencies, whether it be in this formation, they go whatever percent running pass, and here's their go-to plays on this, right? It's crazy what tempo does because, and I was talking this to our offensive coordinator, the other offensive coordinator I work with, and our head coach, is that the only time we've got in this formation where it was doubles with our tight end in a slot was when we ran this exact play, which was just a zone play with a leak from the Y, and no one still stopped it. It didn't matter. This was the only play, but because we got into it so quickly, it didn't even matter, right? It didn't even matter because everything goes out the window when you throw a bunch of different tempos in there, right? Didn't matter the tendency, which was 100% that we ran this is the only play we ran out of it. All right, so for us over here at Chattahoochee, the way we go different tempos is we really have 4 different types of tempos. We go our normal, which is no huddle, but not rushed, right? We kind of just get lined up, look at the play call, listen, just look at the defense, allow us to kind of dissect what's going on and then call our play. We have our dummy, which is our freeze check, right? Everyone gets to the line as quickly as possible. Set go, fake it, look over, check it to the sideline, see what we need to do. And then we have our sugar huddle, where we utilize this by using a wristband call, right? So we do signal a lot of plays, but we also have a handful of plays that are on a wristband, whether it be trick plays or funky formations, whether it be like an overset like that, right? It just allows us to kind of slow it down enough to make the defense feel prepared and enough time to make them feel like they're ready for what's about to happen. But then we end up going into a play that they're not ready for, right? We utilize this with a wristband because it allows us all to feel confident hearing the quarterback say it and making sure, of course, we're on the same page when it comes to these trick plays, right? This is the time you can ask questions, say, hey, I might have forgot what I'm doing on this play. Let's go ahead and let's talk about it real fast, right? And then obviously being in that little bit of a sugar huddle allows us to get on the ball quick and not allow people to kind of get ready to see what's going on, right? And then our one-worders, right? Fast tempo, as fast as possible. Our one-worders pretty much have the formation, the play, any motions that are involved, any shifts, any of that, all in one word. And we'll talk a little bit more about that in a little bit. But here's pretty much our first one. Like I said, kind of our no huddle still, not really normal, not really speeding it up, not slowing it down, just kind of getting on the ball, looking around, make sure everyone's on the right page, make sure we signal it. All right, we'll wait for the signaler to tell us that we're ready to go and run the play. All right, let's run it. All right. This is our check with me, like we said, right? Get on the ball. Everyone look to the sideline, see what's going. And then we'll go on to the next play. Here's our one-worder, right? Everyone's on the ball. Play's already in. You see the defense not knowing what to do. Everyone's walking which way. One word's already happened. Play's going. All right. So obviously this is all something that everybody wants to do. Everybody wants to kind of have these different tempos, but specifically how do we do it over here, right? Like we said, we use a bunch of one-word play calls that help us out, right? I'm very into one-word play calls because it allows our players to know that have to hear one thing and know what to do. And make sure when we have these one-word play calls, I have a friend who played in the NFL, and he talked about the different offenses and how kind of the Buccaneers compared to the Chargers. The Buccaneers was more like a package, right? You had a bunch of plays, and they all were like, let's say all run plays were all animals, right? They would call animals for all run plays. And then the Chargers were kind of like, oh, we're going to run this play, and we're going to call it paint because they were painting out the door when we came up with this play, right? I'm very into kind of having a rhyme or reason. Whatever your rhyme or reason be, make sure you have those all together. For us, our one-word play calls are all natural disasters or precipitation, right? So you'll hear thunder, lightning, tsunami, earthquake, things like that really kind of the guys know, our players know that when they hear those words or they're hearing it from the quarterback scream it or us from the sideline, they know that it is a one word and we need to get on the ball quick. Obviously, like I said before, a wristband for the quarterback. We look at the plays very heavily of what ones we know are going to be called and ones that we feel like we need everyone in the huddle to kind of be on the same page no matter what, because those are going to be some of our big time fast plays, whether it be a shot, a wide leak, whatever it might be, to kind of get those plays situated and make sure we're all together. And then obviously how we do it is, I mean, it's nothing without good cohesion. The sideline coaches and the box coaches seeing things fast, right? Being able to change these tempos from going to a sugar huddle to going to kind of slowing it down to kind of one word. When those situations come, our coaches know that we're all on the same page and we've all seen something that has a rhyme or reason of why we've decided to do it, right? We all have those key indicators that we look at during film study, whether it be the D linemen are only able to play this many plays before they get tired, or when so-and-so's in, he might be a weak link, so we need to hit him fast before they try and change him back out. Things like that are go unnoticed sometimes, but when you have a bunch of good coaches around you that kind of help support this, it's completely different and a completely different vibe to being able to do all of this. So like I said before, our one-word play package is kind of one big package, right? We have those words of precipitation and kind of natural disasters that the kids know, that our athletes know that this is our plays. These are our most efficient. These are the ones that are going to hit really good. So let's go ahead and know these plays for sure, right? The kids feel buy-in because we let them pick some of the words of the plays, right? You could sit here and say they wouldn't feel buy-in, but they do because they have some skin in the game, right? So we say, which one do you guys want to call this one? Oh, I want to call this one Thunder. Okay, perfect. Well, now we know that so-and-so called Thunder. So when Thunder happens, you better know what you're doing because you're the one who made the name of the play. It's part of the package, like I said, so it helps them speed up the thinking, right? Regardless of what play it might be, they know that it's in tempo, and they know that instead of that whole offense they have to think about as a whole, they know that it's just a handful of plays. So let me break it down even faster and know, okay, this is this, right? And then on top of it, it gets rid of all the extra fluff in the play call, right? It's a lot different from going doubles right, zebra cold, Y leak to thunder, right? That's two completely different things, and signaling in and kind of the kids knowing what to do. A lot can get misunderstood when it comes to a lot of signals sometimes, and kind of what's going through the kids' minds when we listen to what they're saying, or when they're listening to the play call we have going on. All right. So for us, like I said before, this is our thunder call, right? Thunder always means, whether it's left or right hash, means that we'll have the Z and the Y in a stack to the boundary, the X and the H to the field, and it's zebra, a zone, inside zone up front for us. All right. We have our block and our now routes now, but this is always what it is, right? Allows our quarterback to read it quick, something easy, so it's not some long overused play that they have to think too much on. They know stack, this, that. All right. Watch it here. Put this one on because we got played. We should have got a flag right here, but it's okay, right? Thing up the backer, but because of that tempo, we should have already had a flag right here, and this play wouldn't have mattered otherwise, right? But watch a couple more. All right, we have players in and out of the huddle, or in and out of the defense, not knowing what to do. Touchdown, fast. I believe this game, we ended up running this play, I think 4 times this drive, right? We know the defensive line was tired. They didn't know they were giving up their chest, and it was all she wrote, right? Thunder, 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 thunder. Touch from the back. I said inside zone with our now routes. Here's our lightning play, that one I showed you that this was 100% in this formation for us offensively. Our Y was always to the boundary, going towards the field, H and X, Z, and it was zone into the boundary with our leak out the back. Lightning, lightning, lightning. All right. Easy way to get kind of your playmakers the ball, right? We had a really athletic Y that sometimes it would be hard to kind of get him in the picture at times because of running routes and people wanting to cover him more than other people. But easy way to get your players the ball, right? You could put anybody there. You could have put an X there. You could have put a Z there. You could have put your number one receiver. It is what it is. If you get that tempo going, it really won't matter to forget where everyone's at because of that tempo. Right? Here's one of my favorites, tornado for us. Tornado for us is this huge unbalanced set over here. We have dual blocking right here for the quarterback, and we have our access hitch right here, right? The read for him is pre-snap read here, then obviously numbers, and if they're both not looking right, if the numbers are here and he doesn't have this pre-access, what he'll do is he'll read to see if this backer flies out. If this backer flies out, he'll still throw it even though they have the number. Or if this backer flies out, he'll run it up duo-wise. But if this backer plays in here, then he'll still throw the now route. All right. Really good play because of this offset and because of having this by himself and still having something in here to kind of look at. To run. So like I said, that's one word, 3 plays in one, right? Unbalanced set, this kind of bunch with the running back out here to the left, to the field, our Z to the boundary, and still running the ball inside if we need to. All right. See it here? Unbalanced set, comes late. And this ended up being, like I said, a read. If he ended up being pressed, we would just run a go off of it too. Good throw from the quarterback. Good catch. Big play. Big play. big play against one of our rivals too. All right, you see it? Access, playing off, one-on-one with one of our best receivers. That's how you want to play it. There we go. Take the yards while we can. Take some free yards. One thing that I know might get asked is obviously sometimes the numbers still look kind of like right here, right? You still guess, I guess you still technically have those numbers over here because you don't have that fourth guy over, but go ahead and, I mean, quarterback's reading what he's supposed to. He made the right play. Oh, let's not go through that. And then you can see the duo blocking, kind of those double teams up front, as many double teams as we can, up to those backers. Oh, terrible job by 77, getting his hips in there. And then one-on-one right here. But we do have a whole other group of kind of a lot more of these that we run. Let me go ahead and stop sharing and share my other side of the screen that I have. Here we go. Here's a handful of some other ones that we run that kind of also worked really well in our offense. And I think one thing that will go, I don't want to say unnoticed, but that does play very well into this is kind of that being able to, this is what I'm going to go into, that being able to, so for us as well, having those one-word play calls, we have a lot of trick plays as well that are one words, right? I think having those one words are obviously, it goes back to kind of like what I said before, kids feel more invested. It's easier for them to know that on this one trick play, this is what happens, right? So being able to go in and out of this fast one-word play tempo to a trick play allows things like this to happen where you just forget what's going on and who's in the picture, right? So for us, our one-word play calls for our trick plays are cars. So that was a car name. Another tempo play we have that is another one-worder is just a shallow screen with our slot. So like I said, just trying to find ways to get your main players the ball, right? Especially as I know we all have one of those dogs on our team that, you know, can get sometimes, like we said, double teamed, kind of defensive, set them up to make sure they can't do good. So for example, that's our number one receiver, right? Quick play call, put him in the slot, let him outrun everybody, let him make some plays, right? Don't give him a chance to even think about where he's at to cover him up. All right, there's our Y leak, our thunder. Trying to find another one for y'all. That was really good for us. Like I said before, some of our most efficient plays that we know we're going to run more than once, go ahead and why not have them as those tempo calls? I think it might be later in here. Here we go. All it is a stack. We have them on a go, him on a hitch. All right. Easy just by, you can tell by the way they're playing it that this was good for us. Easy getting our playmakers the ball as quickly as possible. All right. Ran this game a handful of times. Just easy yards. Good catch. All right. Another one for us. One worder that I know this is a lot going on to one word, but one of our short yardage plays that really enjoyed doing, just a bunch of movement. We ended up putting an offensive lineman back here at the Y spot that he enjoyed, put another offensive lineman in. So this is all one word play call for us. And no shifts or anything, even though it was unbalanced. So that's how we really use it over here at Chattahoochee High School. I think any offense can benefit from being able to kind of change that tempo. Um, you know, we use one word play calls just because, in the sense of it's easier for us. But you might find out that just going faster, whether it be shortening the play call completely. We we found that's best for our players is to kind of we've realized that we're finally getting into that flow of them their football IQ getting a lot better. So being able to have these one word play calls originally, which we still love and use, is still kind of let them not have to think so much about football stuff, just play. But I mean, that's how we use it. I'd love to hear how other schools use their tempo. I know I was listening to a couple schools, and you can go as fast as to the point of, if you have the receivers to do it, making sure that they learn just the left side and somebody learns just the right side. It doesn't have to do anything with X and Z really. Or if a player runs across the field, that the next formation and he's on that same side, so he doesn't have to run back across the field. But no, Coach, that's all I got right now for some multi-tempo and one-worders. I know it's not, I don't want to say as pretty as some run game stuff as I love watching, but it is something that any offense can use, and it can help you out completely.
No, man, I love it. Like I was at the Glacier Clinics in Charlotte this past weekend, and like one-word calls and RPOs and all that stuff. Everybody was talking about that a lot, and so that was a lot of this lined up with a lot of that. And I love what you just did right there. It was 3 different formations in one call. I mean, like you're in a flex bone, then you back up to pistol with both guys next to the quarterback, and then you put them over there. And dude, stealing that for sure. Love it. Love that. And anytime I can get like double sniffer look, just like that, I love it.
Exactly.
Heck yeah, man. Well, Coach, go ahead and drop all your socials, and people can find out how to get in touch with you and how to, talk about this stuff with you if they'd like to.
Yeah. So on Twitter, it's just Coach Ham pretty much. And then on email, you can email me on hamiltona@fultonschools.org. I can send over whatever clips, talk about whatever you guys want to talk about. I mean, Coach Tatum knows I love talking ball, always available whenever. Just let me know, hit me up, and I'll be ready to talk some ball and kind of maybe hear what you guys got going on, because I can always keep learning too.
For sure, Coach. I got 2 questions for you before I let you roll. These are kind of easy. You can share your screen if you want to. But first, as an offensive line guy, what is your favorite run play?
Ooh, man. If you have the personnel, you can never go wrong with duo. And then I'm not being just, that normal offensive line guy, but if you have receivers that want to block, you have a number of Ys, you have even more offensive linemen, running duo is just, it feels almost unstoppable, right? Because the running back can do whatever the guy's not supposed to be doing. That, and then if I had to not give you a typical answer, I guess I would go GT counter, just because you have so many variations off of it. You can have the pitch, the sweep, the bash, just so much different stuff you can do off of it. You can go have the Y play, the play side, and arc that to kind of influence the pullers to kick out even easier. So just so much you can do off of GT counter.
For sure. And last question: which front is your favorite to block, and which one is harder in your opinion?
So I have a college coach when I played at West Georgia, Coach Sam Gregg, and every time we'd go against a 3-3 stack, he said, this is the defense they play in heaven. So I'm still 3-3 stack, because I know there's a lot of movement that can happen, but it just feels so easy to read the numbers of what's in the box and what's not. It just makes it easy for the offensive line to see it.
And what's the most difficult?
I guess I'm gonna say the most difficult is what we've been seeing a lot. It's kind of this 3-4, just because you have players that are playing in the box, also playing out there, and sometimes you can't really decide if they're in the run or not sometimes. So that's all I'm seeing a lot of last year, and probably this year, is at 3-4, because a lot of people don't have those not full real linebackers, but also not those full corners who can play kind of that apex backer. So probably a 3-4.
For sure. Well, Coach, I appreciate you coming on and talking with us. A little bit of tempo and one-word calls. I think that's really relevant, especially in today when you get a little bit of an advantage on defenses, trying to catch them off guard, misaligned, or like you were saying, trying to catch them on the field, getting a big guy trying to run off. So, but I appreciate you doing that, Coach. And this probably will be out pretty soon, so be looking for that.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Yes, sir.